Welcome, everyone, to the Tales of an Intuitive. My name is Amanda Kulbaba, and I am an intuitive and Reiki master. And today I am once more with my good friend, Shalene Simoes. Welcome, Shalene. Thank you for being with us today.
Amanda, hi, and thanks for having me again.
And Shalene, please let everybody know what you do.
I'm a Reiki master, intuitive energy healer, and Akashic Records reading. I just recently started.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Today, we are talking and we'll be discussing a really interesting and I believe important topic because this term is out there everywhere now. Everybody is talking about it. And we are looking at the 7 signs you are spiritually awakened. And what I would ask you, Shalene, is if you can describe to us what does the term spiritually awakened mean?
Yeah, to me, spiritually awakened means just recognizing and realizing that there is a greater force, a greater power, a greater source outside of our physical selves, outside of this physical world, that is supporting us and guiding us, and just really tapping into that connection.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, spiritually awakened has become so popular now. Everybody talks about it and describes, as being spiritually awakened as part of their journey now. And it just really does describe the time as the earth and humanity has decided to ascend, to increase the vibration. And this means we've been experiencing for centuries a lower vibration of experience of how to do things, see things, experience, all of this. Yeah, just going and being very, very different in the lower energies. And what does that mean? What is that about? And we have decided again, our soul, and I think Mother Earth's soul has decided to come into this alignment of a different purpose and to raise the vibration of humanity, of Mother Earth. And not only that, but reawaken again. And we know that when we've all been out there on different planets through the galaxies, but when we come to this planet, we forget. And it's like just this remembering, bringing that, inner wisdom, that ancient wisdom and ancient knowing to bring it onto the planet and bring that into an experience now for us all. So, very, very exciting, of course. Very exciting to be alive on this planet right now. Definitely a lot of growing pains. I think we're all feeling it.
I was also thinking as you were saying all of that, and just how it is so prevalent now, and just people going through spiritual awakenings and talking about it more, and it just happening more now. And I think it's because of the state that the world is in. It's necessary at this time. There's just so much upheaval and just a lot going on that it's really needed. So when you were saying like Mother Nature, shaking things up, and yeah, just soar. I mean, everyone has a different name, source, God, spirit, but just really pushing for this evolution, spiritual evolution for people, because I think it's really necessary and needed right now.
Oh, definitely 100%. And I think everybody who's watching this is obviously spiritually awakened. Like, you know, yeah, if you're watching this, you are. And I think it's it's just, it's this feeling deep within yourself that, there's more. And also that we're so done with the old. Like, we're so done. We've been there like for so long experiencing, this way of life and that, and we feel like we can tell it's not working for us anymore. Yes, definitely. So another question I want to know, to ask you, Shalene, and I'm interested, is when did you know you were spiritually awakened? Was there something that happened to create this awareness for you, or did you already know?
Yeah, and I know we'll discuss it when we go over the seven signs, but it really was like a major life shakeup for me. And it was losing my grandfather in 2017. And then relationships around me were just starting to kind of crumble. And yeah, like things, a lot was changing. Like I was, yeah, a lot of like people were leaving, whether it was physically leaving my grandfather and going into the spirit world, or just no longer having space for friendships and different relationships. And that is really what like set me in motion on the spiritual awakening. And yeah, then I just started to really question things and yeah, a lot changed. So it was a major life change that really pushed me in that direction.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yes, it's funny because we're gonna in a minute or two we will go through these seven signs. But and like you said, one of them is, and I think a lot of people have this one. So this is like one of the seven signs is, a major event that causes to shake you up, just like the planet is shaking up in awakening. It's, you know, she's, a huge planet. Like, of course, like she's coming out of a slumber, a sleep. And so, of course, like when we get out of bed, it's not this, gentle, graceful awakening up. A lot of us don't wake up that way. It's a really a shake up. And so a lot of people have what you described. And I always thought that there was something a little bit wrong with me because I didn't have that. But then I didn't even really, to tell you the truth, felt that I had an awakening. But then I realized after just, I don't even know what I was thinking about, but I did realize, I'm like, wait a minute, I did have a little bit of a shakeup, but it was quite different than a lot of people. So when I was finishing my massage therapy program when I was 25 years old, I have mentioned that I took a course on intuitive body work, and that really opened a door within me. But it was a little bit after that that teacher gave us a whole list of books that we could read, and they were all spiritual. And one of them was Carolyn Miss's book. It wasn't The Spirit of Anatomy, which I did read a little bit later, but it was one of her earlier books. Sorry?
Reading that right now.
Oh, I did read that a little bit later, like within that year. But she had another book about how to heal yourself. And again, I think it was very much similar. I believe Louise Hay had a similar book about how to heal yourself as well, but it wasn't Louise Hay. It was, I believe, Carolyn Miss. And so again, very spiritual. And I remember reading it, and I stayed up late one night finishing the book. And I can't even describe to you how excited I was. I was just like bursting with so much inspiration and excitement. It was like, again, my soul was singing. My soul was like, yes, this is it. This is what we're meant to do. This is who we are. We forgot. And now it's time, it's timing, right? And I remember going to bed and turning off the light, and you know how you close your eyes and you can see like colors. I was having like these huge bursts of purple and green behind my eyes, and it was constant in these big bursts. And I look, and of course I couldn't sleep. I was way too excited. And I look back at that now and I see that as part of my spiritual awakening. I think I had it a little bit more gentle than some people who had big shakeups. But for myself, anyways, they were because I have a lot of fire in my astrological chart. I have a lot of fire. I tend to, and also a lot of air as well. So I tend to go towards in my experiences with the mind and being inspired and being very creative. So that's how uh, I just naturally flow and work and experience in that. So I had also, like you, a little bit later, a couple of years after that, probably about 5 years after that, 5, 6 years after that, where I was really working on myself intuitively. And I started also to lose the friendships. That always happens when you're shifting into a high or a different vibration from where you have been. Those old friendships, if those people aren't, evolving like you are, not that they're lower than you or inferior at all. It just simply you're just in different places now, different places of experience, and you're not resonating, you're not connecting, like attracts like. It just, yeah, it's not happening anymore. And that happens too, not just with friends, with other situations like your job or career can change. Unfortunately, it can be like with partnerships, that sort of thing. Your external world changes and shifts to match your vibration and frequency where you're at. So we do have to unfortunately go through those. That's part of the awakening experience and the shifting there, but it's also gives us a lot of support and encouragement, um, in that we're opening up to something better and something much more aligned within a higher place, which is always great and exciting.
I was also thinking when you said you didn't have like a major life change or shakeup, and it was like a little more subtle or gentle, I should say. It just took me back to our previous conversation in the previous video about maybe because you've been here so many times, so you didn't really need that major shakeup at this point.
Could have been,
Thought.
yes. And Shalene is speaking of Am I Intuitive video. So if you haven't seen that, check that one out because that was a lot of fun too, you guys. Yes. So let us get into the seven signs. We've already sort of started talking about it, but let us move into that because that's what everybody wants to hear. So we have, Shalene and I have our first of the seven signs, are you spiritually awakened, is noticing synchronicity. You're starting to notice synchronicity and synchronicity events. Can you explain that a little bit more for us, Shalene?
Yeah, so for me it was a lot of like seeing I know a lot of people would see like angel numbers. Or if you have someone in mind, you're thinking about a friend and then 5 minutes later they call you. Um, yeah, thinking you smell something, but it's not actually around. And then later, like someone from your home brings home pizza, like you smell like just little things like that where you start to see that things are no longer a coincidence, they're synchronous.
Yes, and those synchronicities, oh, I can't even say the word now, synchronicity, events too, show us too that we're more in line with spirit. We're more in the flow of energy of life instead of being in conflict or second guessing and not sure which path to go. Now things, yes, are smoother and easier. There's a flow to things and understanding. Our second one is starting to question, which we've talked about a little bit too, where you're starting to question things and starting to want to look at things in a deeper, more meaningful way and question why things are happening and why things are done that way, and really starting to break out of those confinements that we've been put in, like the programming, the conditioning, wanting to break free of that, starting to feel the freedom of breaking free. And that's when you start to question a lot. And people don't like questions all the time. Our third one is feeling something, not feeling, okay, I didn't write that one right. Not feeling fulfilled or happy in life. I think that's our third one. And that tends to be for a lot of people. Do you want to discuss that a little bit?
Yeah, I think it is like not feeling fulfilled, but also just not understanding why you're not feeling fulfilled. So you can have all the things, and that's where it gets really confusing, I think, in that phase of spiritual awakening, because you're looking around and you may have all the things, but you still don't feel fulfilled. And I think it's because we were programmed to be fulfilled by all these physical things and material things. And at this point now, we need to realize that it's more within and actually without as well, with the greater source.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's perfect. Our fourth one is seeing the drama for what it is and not wanting to be a part of it anymore. And I think that's for a lot of us. Like, it's just exhausting, the drama and people's dramas. And also, to seeing for what it is really about seeing that people are feeling unhappy and are not fulfilled. So they have to create all this drama to keep them excited, to keep them focused on something that they think would be meaningful, or create something that will fill that void, that emptiness within themselves. And that goes back to our last one too, where it's like you're looking for a deeper meaning in life. You're looking for something deeper in your own existence, and knowing that that potential is there. That's awakening within you. And again, you're seeing it with other people and don't want to take part in those illusions anymore, that other people's dramas. And it's also very tiring.
Mhm.
And it also really, it's very time consuming. And let's face it, we don't have time for all that drama.
Right.
There's, yeah, there's more important things out there for us.
You said something interesting, and I just wanted to point it out for people listening because it really made me think. When you said there's people that create the drama because they're trying to create some excitement within themselves. And that's part of that actually is like part of being spiritually awakened. So if people can like realize that when they're in that moment and just kind of make that shift, that was actually a really good point. You said that.
Yeah, it is. Even for myself, like looking where, you know, you create this drama, like, or you exaggerate things when they don't need to be exaggerated. And it's like, that exaggeration is an energy. It's an expansive energy which putting, you're trying to fill a hole with. And that hole usually is something that's empty. You don't feel that you're fulfilled. You don't have enough within you. So you're trying to fill it. And it's an empty, like, and that's why they keep doing it. And that's why they're constantly creating more and more drama, because it's an you're trying to fill an emptiness with an emptiness already. And really, you need to look for your true highest potential. And we're not looking at that because we've been programmed and conditioned to go through a checklist. You're born in life, you're a kid, you go to school, get good grades, you go to university or college or start a job, you get married, you have kids, you pay all your bills, then you raise your kid. You know what I mean? Like, there's this
Yeah.
checklist, then you retire, and then what is it?
Right.
It's who wants that?
Right.
who wants it? Like, I mean, well, yes, you might want children, you might want a family,
I
that
know what
sort of,
you
yes, your career. But I mean, there needs to be your entire creative spirit needs to be a part of that. Your higher self, your true potential. There's just so much richness that is lacking, and this is part of the spiritual awakening, is rediscovering that within yourself.
Yeah. I love that. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. And then our sixth point, no, sorry, let me go back. Our fifth point. Sorry, we're getting, because we're discussing and we're having fun here, we're getting off track. Our fifth point, seeing people's wounds. And again, this sort of goes back to what we were just discussing with the drama, but also starting to see people's wounds and where people are having difficulties. And the reason why we start to see other people's wounds is we're actually starting to see our own. People are a mirror of ourselves. So it's interesting. I've seen this with clients over the years that are really interesting. And I'm aware of this because I did it too in my beginning. So when I started my spiritual awakening, I started to point out to other people everybody's wounds that I was seeing. Okay, and it wasn't, yeah, it's not always very nice, guys. But it is also, let's just be gentle with ourselves and forgiving. But um it is also part of the process, I believe, because like I said, I did it myself, but I've seen a lot of other people go through it too. When people start to awaken, and part of the awakening is your healing work, is starting to do, like, looking at childhood wounds, even ancestral wounds, clearing out the programming and conditioning and what that might mean for you. But what we're really doing is, as we start to notice other people's wounds and addictive behaviors and patterns, things that are very destructive, what we're actually doing is we're pointing them out too, or being just more aware of them. We are actually starting to see our own wounds. We're starting to pick up on them. And I've seen this with clients doing it. And I remember once I was massaging this client, and she started to tell me about all these people with their issues in society in general, and all of the issues and all of this stuff. And all I could think about was, like, I was smiling because I was like, oh, I know where she's at. I get it. I was there too. And I'm like, what it really is that you're not quite ready to see it within yourself. So you're seeing it more with others, but you're halfway there. You're just about to start to really be like, wait a minute. I don't know if you felt that before or seen that, but that was a big one for me.
Yeah. And I think it's the same as like seeing what triggers us in other people is something within ourselves, but we just haven't been able to recognize it. So we're being shown it as like a mirror.
Perfect. Yes. And I don't know if other people have seen this too. Please let us know in the comments if this makes sense to you and you've gone through it yourself. We're all here to share, and there is no shame or blame or any, like, that's all out. That's all illusions. And no, we've all been through our stuff. We're all here to support each other. So don't feel that you need to hold back. You can let us know, because most likely many of us have gone through the exact same thing as you. So our sixth point now, our sixth sign that you are spiritually awakening, is what we've already talked about at the beginning, was a major life change. Something has happened that has really turned your world upside down, shaken you up, either a major breakup with, your spouse or partner that you didn't see coming, maybe a loss of a job, a loved one passing, really anything like that, that can really shake us up because that really brings us back to looking for and understanding a deeper meaning for why this has happened. And also tends to shake us up so much that it pushes us in the direction of going deeper within ourselves and a deeper awareness and understanding with why we're here and what we're doing.
Yeah,
And our
I just
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Just that brings me back to 2020 and just I know everyone can relate to this and like the whole world shutting down and just everything that happened during that time. The amount of people that went through spiritual awakening and the amount of people that I've seen and I've talked to and I know that that's really what catapulted their passion or their hobby or even their career in spiritual work or intuitive work. It really was like a major shakeup for the entire globe. It was
Yeah, it really was, and that's what was meant to happen. We needed more people needed to be awake, and spirits like, this is how we're going to do it. And it really did affect a lot of people. And another point I'd like to make on this is that though I noticed too, like a lot of people did spiritually awaken, but then there was a lot of people who didn't necessarily spiritually awaken, but they awoke to some of these other signs that we talked about, like illusions in the world, like believing in a way of living and doing things and realizing that a lot of it was created for control. And though some people didn't go towards so much the spiritual aspect, they did awaken to a part of it, to looking past these illusions and understanding that. And when I hear people who are a little bit like that, I'm like, okay, well, this is how they're doing it. It
right.
doesn't exactly have to be spiritual if they're not meant to have a spiritual experience here. That's not why they came here, but they can still be awakening to the lies and the illusions and to the programming, and because that's really what's important to change our world, to change it to be a better, healthier world. We need to see past the illusions and past the control and understand that conditioning and programming. So I thought, like, there's so much more to simply being spiritually awake. It really probably should just be an awakening, in truth.
Yeah, very good point.
Yeah. And our very last sign, number 7, starting to recognize and trust your intuition. And this is a big one because this is our being. We are spirit, and how we work, play, move, communicate, express is really through our intuition. What do you think about this, Shalene?
Yeah, I think this is a really big one as well because it gets to a point where that trust, like you said, piece has to come in and just trusting in the guidance of our intuition and just kind of stopping to um, listen, go deeper, go inside, follow our inner compass. And as we were doing the list, I mean, we didn't even plan it this way, but I think it just makes sense that it's the last one because I feel that it's probably the most important one and probably the
I
most.
think it's yes, I agree with you. I think our intuition is part of our evolution and the way we communicate and how we are going to play and work and continue to be and live on this planet. will be through our intuition. And it's very exciting to see where that is going to take us in our all our journeys. Thank you so much. I know we sort of, Shalene and I, when we get together, we need to discuss everything. And so we sort of did a little bit more there, but I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I hope it helps you explain some of your experiences and maybe give you some clarity and even help and direction in where you're going and what you're doing. And once more, we would love to hear from you. I hope you enjoyed this. Leave your comments below, and we will be back with another video very soon. So much love and light. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.